שם מעשר שני דף ד' או מד' נשמע גיטה בסבון גאי שחי יצחק דוד כמי בס חייס נשמוס לעבר יעקב לא זה בן דוד רפואה שלמה זאת גמורה. Oh, before we go weiter, there's a Shah Melech. On this topic, we spoke about Noshim, like the Rambam, sorry, Rashi with Tosus in Kedushin Daf, Nun Dal Gomit Beis. If the issue could go into the Zohar or not, so Shah Melech brings it in Hilchos Beis HaBechira, Peik Zayin Halacha Yud Ches. Couple of highlights from the Shah Melech. He says like this: Hina tois the Perek Yishu B'Kadosh Nun Beis Amin Beis Yishu B'Azorah Minayin Kosu Birish HaKuntris Ein Yishu Nechnes L'Azorah Nisnam B'Perek Kamen Dekelim V'Loi Dok Tois is Frekt Afrasha Meisvei Atmo Yesh Atmo many different languages descriptions that Tois is on Rashi, but V'Loi Dok. That's not usual for Taisus to say on Rashi, like dog. So like Ashkechem B'Shum Dichte, if you look in the Mishnah Taka in Masechet Kelim, you don't find that it says in Masechet Kelim what Rashi says, that Isha can't go into Yazis Noshim. With the Ve'im Tzrichem Bir, B'Masha Kosa V'Loi Dog. Buduk Taisus Loi Dog, Ki'ilu Dova Atoli B'Diuk. Except it's only in Diuk, Adi Yodinish. Either Isha can go in or he can't go in. It's Rashi brings a Mishnah. He says in the Mishnah state you can't go in. There's no such Mishnah. But Pshit is Havle. So why is it say like dog? Pshit is Havle Tmuye. Rashi the Eichos is not pay Kamed Kelim. Wasn't like Tony Noshmein and Chos Bazar. It doesn't say it there. Rashi looks straight yo. He should have said that Rashi Mistama had a different gizah in the Mishnah, whatever. But Gamash, what do you say like dog? Gam Masha Raya Mihipei come to Kolab Sun Zvachim. He brings a Raya, Toys brings a Raya because Shituk Shade Ben Oshim. So what? Shituk Shade Ben Oshim. That's a Raya that the Isha can go into the Azor. No, it's a Sakna Rucha. That's the Weiss doch again, a Sakna Rucha, we say by the Menoide, by the Chanukah. How did they go in? It was the Tomei, how did they go into to light the Menoide? Sakna Rucha, they take a long stick. Okay, Hochinami name it the notion nami the kavose. B'shritas b'sakin arucha. V'anitz kashu b'zeh harav atzmus Yosef. Yeah, you don't afraid the kashu of Toises. Why is Toises saying of Rashi like dog? Mashikos of notion ein nechlos like koya. So he comes up and he says the Shah Melech not going on Ezes Yisrael. It's going on the Ezes Kahanim. Kodesh Kedoshim ein necholim elo b'Ezes Kahanim. We're talking about Kodesh Kochim here. Mekadosh b'Kodesh Kochim. That's part of the Kodesh Kochim, Kodesh Kalim. But Akaponim, he's learning that must be. We're talking about the Ezes Kahanim. The Yotzi Yisrael, Ezes Yisrael, Nifsolim b'Yoytze. He goes out of there. It's called Posel b'Yoytze. Avanoshim. Dafka. So he says like this: the Mishnah Sheitot, the Zcharim Hutru Likonis b'Shas Tzerechayim. Abonoshim einach nosis lo afilu b'shas tzechem. Apiz zeh rotz lefash divrei Toises hu teimer the mashma vade the kodesh kedoshin lacholim b'chol Ezes Yisrael. Lifnei Hashem kerinim bei. Chem bedvui b'divrei Rashi shekos harim mitzay chul b'azor. So akapon ava b'Ezes Yisrael the machne shchinu hu lacholim. Chem mashma gam keim misnim b'divrei Rabbeinu shekos perek Yidalef from the Rambam. Kol ha'oicha kazayis mibosi kodesh kodesh chutz la'azor loike. B'azorah stam is Ezes Yisrael. In Cain, lo yahavi lo lefarish dafka Ezes Kahanim. Cain nira lefi in his daiti. Look the Shah Melech. At the Pshat in Rashi in Toises the Masha Kos of Rashi. Ki the stam b'pei kam the Kelim. I steht doch nicht that the Isha can't go in. The Eiklam Hochim is not Ezes Kahanim Mikadesh Semenu. The Ezes Kahanim. They said that's all the Kedushas. And it says that the Ezes Kahanim is more Mekudesh than Ezes Noshim. שאין יסוד נכנסנו לשום אלו בש"ס צרכיהם. הרי דאף אגב דאזס כהנא באזס יסוד הווה ימחנה שכינן, both are considered the מחנה שכינן, אפילו הוכי עשו הקר ומיילה שלא יכנסו ישראל לאזס כהנא. אם כן, דקבוסי כל שכן נמי באזס ישראל, that the soul can go in, the kivin that is noshim, machne leviyah, as he saw machne shchina, royu shiyase heker u'mayla shlo yichnesu noshim l'toicha. Do me this up. Punkt azay where Yisrael, you make it say Yisrael can't go into Ezus Yisrael, Ezus Kayanim, who are in the Noshim can't go into Ezus Noshim, and it's only a diuk. It's only a diuk. Ezus Noshim was a place in the Beis Mikdash called Ezus Noshim. Yeah. So Tarashi said, the women. Im Kain, b'shim hachul shel yachnis in Noshim l'toicha, do me this Yisrael Ezus Kayanim. Why? You can only go to Tzarcheim. They were allowed to go in. A Saita was allowed to go in. A Nazir was allowed to go in to make a smicha of the kabbalah. Of a shloi tzarcheim. This is mamish what we said yesterday. Go in just as I on a tzarech or asur. That's what Rashi said.
Women?
Yeah.
What's it made for if it's not?
But only in the tzarech.
Oh, okay.
They can't go in for a shmatzir. They can't be shemochi koyes aleim v'huda v'hama isha bazar minayin. What you doing there? Not that also to go in. What you doing there? You have to have a reason to go in. Some again and ayin. Is dafka tzarcheim. Although it in the Mishnah. That's the state in the Mishnah. Mishum. What?
Davening considered tzarech.
Yeah. Mishum hachi. Yeah. Basic tefillah. You call it the chalam. Mishum delay mishkachas lo yishich. This is the notion. The teicha. The avagav devezes kana u'torah yisol likonet b'shas tzarcheim. The smicha. Even in yisol, just can't go in. Just tamazoi. The smicha u'letnufa. Mekal mokem b'noshim. Like mishkachas lo l'lav b'zichat. Okay, so this is now he makes it easier to understand why Tosfos says loydog. Rashi is loydog because Rashi is learning a naib pshat. State this in the Mishnah. Mishnah says you can only go to the tzarech and then the shoyed tzarech can be shaying. That's why it's a kedusha imenu, and that's said by Ezus Yisrael. But Ezus Noshim doesn't say. Mashmalon look to Rashi that this is what it is, and you can't go into Ezus Noshim only the tzarech. Shoyed the tzarech you can't go in. I forgot to call Iki Kushosim who Ezus. No, Isha Bezara Menayin. What's she doing there? What's happening? Well, I thought I tzarech. So this is mamish the rate was from Nachman Gered. Might be Kazung Burshi Kavanti. All right. Nai Gemara. Nai Gemara. Look the Gemara on the bottom. So now you have the Machlokes of Elazar ben Azariah with Rabbi Akiva. Elazar ben Azariah held you give Ma'aser Ish and you give it to the Kohen, and Rabbi Akiva said no. And Rabbi Akiva went and he tried to persuade the halacha that we don't go like Elazar ben Azariah, we go like Akiva, and you don't give it to them. And he was successful. And at the end of the Gemara, Bois is sure he's the next to the last line of Amud Aleph. Elazar ben Azariah kol hamayis shenot. He returned all the ma'aser that he took, whatever how many years it was. He gave it all back because he was chayzer, and he now holds like Rabbi Akiva that you can't give ma'aser yisrael to a kohen. So now the Gemara is bringing parables to this. Mashal.
He took it for himself.
No, he was a kohen. He couldn't take it. He took it for himself, and now he holds halacha. Not like that. He was moeded to Rabbi Akiva and gave it all back. So he gave it all back to whoever gave it to him. He saw whoever gave him the ma'aser ish, and he says it doesn't belong to a kohen. It belongs to the Levi. Omar Rabbi Yitzchak bar Elazar. Dr. Rabbi Yitzchak bar Elazar. This he wants to say why Akiva went right away as soon as he heard that the halacha is like Elazar ben Azariah saying us the halacha. Right away he went out to be chayzer from this halacha. What did he do? So the Gemara brings a moshel. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak bar Elazar kishirusach boyi muliye. When something is very hot and it starts to burn, coals. Sabe the kisa minei bay. Called goymed like kaviyah, b'shata like kaviyah. Also coals that don't burn from the beginning are not going to burn later as well. Now one is on wine and one is on the coals. So look to play Moshe, the moshel goes like this. Look, the kishurut, 4 lines on the bottom on the left side. Kishurut boy mulu sav the kisa minei bay. Moshel. So moshel. As was kishak. Kishura zu shenois them the binyan. When you put in a beam into a building, chaseda ezidover, and if it's missing something in the beam that you put into the place, you shouldn't leave it there. But tishkach l'sakna, you'll forget to fix this beam. So kisim echad minei, take out one piece, ubei, guf v'lamalas oiser, to fill it up later. V'chein kol gachlas, every kol she'ein be added b'shaita, when you need it. It's not burning. Kloima. Kishimaschelis liyas beyada is when the coal starts to flicker, to burn. And you don't blow on it. That's how it starts to burn. Until it gets hot, and it's going to burn. So you leave it the way it is, it goes down, the fire. But if you blow on it, then it gets a stronger flame. What does he mean with this mashal? Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah was chayzer from his psak that you give it to the kohen. Right away he went and he returned everything to the Levim. He's going to wait and he's going to forget. He'll be miyayish and he won't give it back. So he wanted right away. This is the halacha, not like me. I was chayzer. Give it back right away. We find such halachas. He wants to say, take it from miyad. Just like when a coal burns, it doesn't burn right away. It's not going to burn. So you got to make sure you catch it at the beginning. So right away, when he saw that he's not right, and he had that psak, he gave back right away the Ma'aser Shem. Ma'aser Shem. Zog the Menafulda, Omer Aleph, Kasta the Kishrusa, Boy Beluya the Kisa Minei Beit, Pirushay. He says goes like this. He has a different shot here in the Gemara. The Gemara here is not going on a beam, it's going on a kois yayin, a glass of wine, a cup of wine. At the beginning, you have to fill it up. It shouldn't be anything missing from the cup. If the wine goes down, it evaporates. If you're not going to have a full cup of wine, it seems it's not good for the wine. Once it becomes like what you call vinegary, it becomes like the vinegar, the chimutz, then it doesn't matter because the vinegar is not going to spoil. What is going to spoil is only the wine. So you have to be careful right away to chop the wine for not being into spoilage. He's going on Rabbi Kiva. He went right away, but as soon as he saw the gzeira from Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah said you could give it to a kohen. Rabbi Kiva held it was incorrect. He was mavadl. What did he do? He went to the garden and he made the gardener. He knew that's the place where Elazar ben Azariah goes always to take the Ma'aser Rishon, and he told him to close the door. Don't let him come in, and he'll be forced to not to come take the Ma'aser Rishon because he closed the door. And the only way in was through a basic quarters. So that was Rabbi Kiva went and did a Ma'aser to get to the Elazar to be choizer. Only you do it right away. If it doesn't burn right away, it starts to go lower and lower. And when it goes lower and lower, you can't bring it back. He didn't allow Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah to stay on his opinion that he held he could give it to Kohen. The Kivin, the Eina Miskayim Mitchilosoi, if his opinion will not be Miskayim at the beginning, Shuv Loit Miskayim, it won't take hold. So right away you have to change something. If it's incorrect, so the Kiva held, he has to go right away and make it a Ma'aser that it should not be held like Elazar ben Azariah, and he was successful. He got the Elazar ben Azariah to be chayzer. The Gemara doesn't tell us why Elazar ben Azariah was chayzer. Just because Rabbi Kiva came and he blocked his entrance into the garden, doesn't tell us why.
יש נפקמינה בין שני המשלים האלה של הגמרא. למה הגמרא הייתה צריכה להביא שני משלים? משל אחד של חוימץ ומשל אחד של... המשל של החוימץ הולך על המייסה של רב לזר. שרב לזר בעצם, אם לא היו אומרים להפסיק את זה, אז היה נשאר לתמיד. המשל של רבי עקיבא הולך על המחוי של רבי עקיבא. זאת אומרת, אם רבי עקיבא לא היה מוחה באותו יום בהתחלה, אלא היה מוחה אחרי שנתיים, אז המחוי שלו לא הייתה מועילה, בגלל שזה כמו גחלת. שאם עושים בהתחלה, זה לא מצליח.
אוקיי, אפשר. אוקיי, זוג דרש תרילה, סקה דקיסה מנהי בית. Kalas ha'etz, this is going on a worm that goes into a wood. Mina eitz u'noilad, the talas, this worm comes from a woodworm. Noilad, but talas eichlosa, eats up the wood. He was a town from the Elazar ben Azariah. V'yochel neged Rebbe Elazar ben Azariah Rabbi. And he went against his Rebbe. Interesting Tazar. Lo gomer l'kayve b'shayte su l'kavya. It's called gacha sheb'shayte einei kova. Anytime you have these coals and it doesn't take hold, shuv einei kova. It's not going to burn. Kloimer. When he was one of the strong Talmidim, the sharp Talmud of Rebbe Elazar, he was burning with his sharpness. The im Talmud kishu kotman einim b'chudad. If this Talmud Rebbe Kiva is not sharp when he's young, shuv ein lo simen l'schachim b'shmiyosa. Then it's a simen that he won't be successful. Lo shenachad ila nir Rebbe Kiva oisa hagina lechel hamaisa. If Rebbe Kiva would allow the Rebbe Elazar to continue eating from that garden, where he was eating from what, and he was a kohen, the Rebbe Elazar ben Azariah k'moshe hayirogel, shuv lo hayu moitzim motzon l'nasa. Then he wouldn't find a way to get to the Rebbe Elazar ben Azariah to be choizer, the Rebbe Elazar ben Azariah. So he had to do it right away. Sure. Okay, he's looking more about it. This steht jetzt in the Mishnah Machlokes on beer. What happens there? A tafshil, does a tafshil need beer or not? A tafshil b'sham hayomim, and this is back to the Mishnah. Back to the Mishnah. Nun Beis Amar Aleph. Let's go back a minute to the Mishnah. Tafshil, you have a tafshil, which is something which is cooked, and in this tafshil is mu'urev by chulin and ma'aser sheni. You have a teruvis. Beishama moimrim tzorich levayir. Beishama says comes as man abiyah, you have to mevayir, and you have a teruvis. So you have a teruvis, so you have to mevayir. There's no bittul. Beisil loimrim k'mevuyir. It's already mevuyir. So we learned over here what do we learn over here? We learned this Mishnah. So steht da in the Mishnah, Tafshil looked to play Moshe, in Nishar Tafshil shall Ma'aser Sheni shall not Levai, B'sham Moitel Levai Roisa. B'Shalomim Harei Kavu. What's the machlokes? Who's the machlokes? Doesn't tell us if there's bittul, there's no bittul, if it's ben, it's not ben. Zuk to play Moshe, Sheni ben. The reason why Basil says Harei Kavu because not ben, Ve'ena Nikah. Since when do we have by a teruvus? You have a issa behetler. The do adin from was any nikah. When do you find such a thing? It's not din any nikah. It's no shishim. There's no shishim. It's tam kika. You don't have tam kika. You have a lot of different rules and regulations by in Yeridea about teruvus. All of a sudden here the Gemara says, according to Beis Hillel, harei k'mavuyah. We asked this question when we learned the Gemara. What's the pshat? V'chein hayayin v'atavlim. Harei k'mavuyah, because the Gemara is going to say here now we're talking about yayin from Ma'aser Sheni. Harei k'mavuyah. What's the pshat? Harei k'mavuyah. What's pshat sheni nikah? What does this mean? Harei k'mavuyah. The Menafulda says the same thing. The kivim shem Moshe nikah. It's not nikah. What's the pshat? Harei k'mavuyah is like the Rasiril. The bottle who agav ikar atashel. Since when such a thing? That the ikar is vatl top. And the guy to brochas, yeah, ikar na top. And the guy to teruas, as the falter rein and issa b'toich hete. Do we say that the ikar is mevatl the tofel by issa? Man the chashmei. Who said such a thing? Where does this come from? So let's see the Gemara. Tafshil is like the Gemara nun daled on the base. The second line. Tafshil beisham yoyim hakom moedim bepas v'shemen. If there was pas and shemen. Shuhu tzorich levayit from Ma'aser Sheni, that you have to mevayit, and you don't say harei k'mavuyah. It's not a tafshil harei k'mavuyah. Ma pligan, but tafshil. The only machlokes is not by pas and yain, only by tafshil. B'sham yoyim tzorich levayit, b'sim yoyim ain't tzorich levayit. What's the pshat? Zuk to play Moshe, pas v'shemen, hakel moedim. Zuk to play Moshe, narrow lines. Bein beisham bein besil pas v'shemen shel Ma'aser Sheni v'net levayit. Shetzorich levayit. Lefi she'ashemen nira be'en yosim min hayayin. The shemen is more nira be'en, and that shemen was Ma'aser Sheni. So maybe tzorich levayit. Again, what does it mean nira? Be'yayin with tavlin. She'e abu. What you have a tafshil. Shema Moshe's Nika Behem Hakam Moide Shukum Avoy. V'nechel Kula B'Tavshu Shebeshamayim B'Sil Oimim Ein Tzach L'Bayah L'Fi Shukum Avoy. But the Gemara is not giving us a reason. Why is it not like what? Like Machal Sasuris. Look the Menafilda. Hakam Moide B'Pas V'Shem Shukum Tzach L'Bayah. Geshem Nusuna B'Tavshu. The fish hand be'en Moshe Nika. If it's a Moshe Nika, then it is. What if you have bittul? That's all he told you here. Gemara says not be'en. It's your be'en. Ma pligan. When is the B'chol B'Sham still b'tavshul? Kloima, not by pas b'shem. B'tavshul atzma loy b'murim be'en. If it's a tavshul. Behind also tavshul miperes. He made it out of the fruits. B'sham is svilu davlei ben. But still svilei then he's a nikar ben. It's not considered your ben. This ben. Look the Rashi but Baz V'Shem on the right side, 5-6 lines from the top. Baz V'Shem and Shu Tzach L'Bayah. Shem and Eim Mistapki Mimenu Kol Kav. Baz Choshev. It's called Choshev. Yain Shoysev Merubim Choshev K'Mavuya. So what's the pshat of the Rabbi? So I want to say something. I think it's correct, but I'm going to find out this is the pshat. The Rambam says here in Perek Beis, Ma'aser Sheni. Ma'aser Sheni, and this is going to get to the Gemara in a minute, the Gemara Vaita. Ma'aser Sheni is Nechel where? In Yerushalayim. When is the Nechel b'Yerushalayim? Stam Mizbeach. Yerushalayim dafku in Stam Mizbeach. Alei shtei v'achot v'bnei Hashem l'kecha, v'mokan she'yivcha Hashem l'shak v'shmoi shom, v'noi b'fnei habayis, u'shloi b'fnei habayis. Aval einei Nechel b'Yerushalayim, it's Noy, the Dinam, Aval einei Nechel b'Yerushalayim, ela b'fnei habayis, in Yerushalayim itself to eat it, you can only do b'fnei habayis, and then ma'is l'gant v'shirosh v'yitzarecha, b'koyres b'kocha v'tzanecha, shayim. So why can't you eat it nechel b'yishlayim ela b'fnei habayis? What does that mean? What's meitus? Zuk the Chaim. Chaim in Derech Hamuna. This Rambam the Tazah. Bringing the chelik. The Chaim zuk that it has to have mizbeach. Not just mizbeach. B'fnei Hashem made mizbeach. Even though the Rambam doesn't bring it, but that's what he says. So he says like this: the Rambam Melacha Beis midis chasidi shepoid ma'aser sheni b'zman hazeh b'shavya kedei shepoid nois b'nei habayis b'zman hazeh. V'hiru hagoynim shimrotza livdois shava mona b'prut l'katchila b'zman hazeh poide. Lo yeh zeh chomem min ha'hegdish u'ma'asher chaput liyam ha'godol. Chen halacha gimel im hichil ma'aser shava mona al shava pruta mipeis ha'esek ha'rezeh b'chol v'sayis ha'peis shchil ha'alein. Zuk the dem der Eivet I'm Avram Toma ani imamri ha'goynim she'yivde ma'aser sheni afil b'zman hazeh peis ha'peis el ma'aser sheni shechutz lo she'osik edmai. But the Rambam says here that Kedei Shleit HaKolu L'Achenim B'Pidyon Netu Levai B'Zman Hazeh K'mo Shubanu B'Hilchos Isurim Machol Asuras. So the Pshat is Azoy Rabbi said that Ma'aser Sheni is Nisha Levi Trumas Ma'aser. Trumas Ma'aser is Machol Asuras. Trumas Ma'aser. As Dinam you can't Bittul B'Roiv Meya all these halachas, but by Trumas Ma'aser is not negated to Ma'aser Sheni. Ma'aser Sheni out yes the man doma that says Atavshul Reikim Uvuya. But it's not a machal sasuras. So adim after says in Yerushalayim. The fact that you have to eat in Yerushalayim doesn't mean that it has dinim from bittul b'roiv. Such a dinim from bittul b'roiv. You have to take it to Yerushalayim. Yonik and nishnik. That's what the Gemara is saying over here. And if the nik is, then you have to take it to Yerushalayim. If it's nishnik, you don't take it to Yerushalayim. But that's what the Gemara means when you have tavshul. A tavshul b'shem ha'imoimim tzorch l'bayeh. And Mashen came to Basil holds that Reikim Avuya, ain't so Reikim Avuya, why is it Avuya? It's Nishnika. Why is it totally nikah? Because nishka machos asuras. Machos asuras is totally in bitl beroiv, kahina v'kahina. But this is a zach that ich dav dus essen yishlayim. It's the minor adin, nish adin of the Ma'aser Sheni, as tutzich of the Ma'aser Sheni machos asuras. Nishka machos asuras b'chal. Matim is also noch a das no Bild und da geht schon das schon Matim, was ich kann da was ist a Haus so. Ich weiß nicht kann Haus so ist, hat nicht die alle dienen. And that's why he said, "Hey, come over here, Pshat, was nicht nicke." Das ist der Pshat. And the Rambam says that Moshe Ba'anim Hilchos Asur Macholis, the Rambam is putting it in Chenim Chil Ma'aser Sheni. You have to point the Ma'aser Sheni B'zman Hazeh. Why is it also treated? Because it's not nechel, there's no mizbeach. And if there's no mizbeach, so you have to be mavayit. K'moshe ba'anu b'hilchos asur macholis. He's saying he's putting it into macholis asur. Putting it into macholis asur. Vaisles hat ja dienen von Isse von macholis asur. But kann sein, it's nicht mucher. But al kaponim, ich meine, ich bin gerecht. Because you see, it doesn't go with tam, it doesn't go with shishim, it doesn't go with roiv. It's nicht kann macholis asur. It's not dienen, but after that's in Yishlaim. Rabbi Zoy, so get the Shirain in the halachas from Machol is the Sudas. I get in Shabbat,